listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network. I'm Big Q chiming with you on the Pelican Postgame Report, hitting you with our latest weekly installment of the Pelican Postgame Report. And of course, we got our weekly and star contributor of the Pelican Postgame Report. DC is in the building. DC, how you doing, fam?
I'm doing all right, man. How everybody else doing?
Everybody's fine in the building, bro. We doing good, man. And to be honest with you, the Pelicans, man, this podcast here is of course, we hitting you with this at All-Star break. And we know that the Pelicans, man, sitting up here right now, they got a lot of work to do, DC. It's less than 30 games left in the season coming in.
27 to be exact, my brother.
That's right. And they have a lot to do coming up. And in this Pelican Postgame Report, it's called the State of the Pels at the break. And we'll go into that and talk about that. But first and foremost, we'll talk about the Portland matchup, the Thunder matchup. Then, of course, we'll do a preview the upcoming matchup on the 21st when the Pels come back off All-Star break and get ready for Portland. A team that they look pretty good with in this past week. It's very interesting. So we'll have interviews from Gentry, and of course we'll let Zion Williamson chime in a loss to the Thunder as well. And before long, let's get going into it. Now, it's real interesting this week. Like I said, 27 contests left coming into it, DC. And the last matchup the Pelicans had, the Portland matchup, was interesting because they faced off against Portland. And this one was one of the games where you had to look at and say, bam, the Pelicans look really good in this one. Everything was.
Oh, you're talking about? Oh, all right. The last one was the Thunder, though.
No, we're gonna do the Trailblazers first, and then we're gonna hit you with the Thunder. That was the two games they played this past week, and then.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So that's the thing in the 138 to 117 matchup with Portland. That was a really nice game. Zion had 31 in the matchup and 9 rebounds in the game. And then, of course, trailing 12-7, Portland went on a 26-3 run to take a 31-15 lead, the largest of the game, with just over 3 minutes left in the first quarter. Trailing by 54-40 with just under 6 minutes in the second quarter. New Orleans closed the half, going on a 23-11 run. They trailed 65-63 at the break, with the game tied at 75 with about 8 minutes remaining in the third. New Orleans went on a 29-11 run to take an 18-point lead into the time frame. Then the Pelicans outscored the Blazers 41-21 in the third quarter as the Pelicans shot 64%, which about 18 of 28 from the field. Portland was held to just 6 of 18 for 33% from the field. New Orleans then finished with a franchise-high tying 40 assists on 49 field goals. The 16-point comeback victory is the largest of the season for New Orleans, surpassing the previous high of 13 against the Pacers. Now, New Orleans scored 22 second chance points off of 14 offensive rebounds, with 6 offensive boards coming from Zion Williamson in there. And then, of course, New Orleans outscored Portland on the fast break 35-13. And then with that win, New Orleans won the season series against Portland for the first time since the 2016-2017 season, and the 7th time overall. Portland's no pushover, but the Pelicans have their number as of late.
How do we win the season series if we still play Portland? I guess they talk about the halfway point.
Well, overall, you got one more matchup with them coming in. So.
Oh yeah, no way they can
They can right the ship at that moment. But what's your thoughts on it?
Man, I thought this was an amazing game and a glimpse of the future and possibly life without Ingram, what that might look like. That third quarter was just, it was on fire, man. It really turned up the heat. It could have easily been a 50-point quarter if they had it going a little bit earlier in that third quarter when it first tipped off. But 40 assists, man, that's a big feat. I hate to interrupt you when you was in the middle of it, but I just realized that they had 40 assists. It's like, man, I didn't even know they had that many assists. But it was a very impressive game. And Zion is phenomenal, man. And you can tell he's still like not fully there as far as what he gonna be this year. So that's very impressive to see him doing what he's doing, as he still, to me, really still don't look like he's fully all the way in shape.
DC 30.
He might have a 50-point game coming at some point this year.
I mean, he working his way, man, into it. 31 points in 28 minutes. He also had 9 rebounds and 5 assists in the contest. That was pretty good. The closest guy to him.
No rookie did that since Jordan, man.
I know, that was phenomenal. 20 points also from J.J. Redick off the bench with 21 minutes of action. 5 of 10 from the field, 4 of 7 from downtown. Then, of course, you had the 17-point game from Josh Hart, who was exceptional in this one as well. 17 with 6 rebounds in the matchup. 16 from Drew Holiday to help out. And here we go with a pretty decently happy Alvin Gentry with the win over Portland.
I bet.
Coach,
he should be.
You scored 138 points without your all-star on the floor, but we could get into offense. I want to start with what Drew Holiday did defensively on Damian Lillard. For a guy who's been scoring 40 points at will, to hold him to 20 and 8 of those at the free throw line, just a remarkable effort.
Yeah, I thought he did about as good a job as you can do in any situation on Dame. So our bigs were sensational also. We just tried to always have somebody there when he was about to turn the corner, and I thought our bigs did a great job of not letting him split us, although he did a few times. But in general, to play him like that and be able to hold him to 20 points, and that's how great he's been playing, to say hold him to 20 points. So, but I thought it was once again, we just did such a really good job of playing good team defense, but our offense really job of screening. We passed up good shots to get great shots, and I think that was the difference, really.
It was a slow start defensively, but I thought Frank Jackson really started this whole thing in the second quarter. He really gave you a spark off the bench.
Yeah, he did, and it's unfortunate. I thought he had a couple of really good defensive possessions where he got called for fouls, and I guess you just got to live with that. But it didn't stop his aggressiveness, and I thought he just did a really good job of being into the ball and avoiding screens and then, like I said, our big guys just did a really good job of being able to drop and help and catch and then be up on the ball when it was Lillard.
Coach Gentry's thoughts on the game, of course, you can see was kind of elated in his own melancholy way about how they play. And I know he was excited about the fact that the Pelicans were able to move that ball around because the assist ratio was pretty thing, which is pretty much what Alvin Gentry loves to speak about, shooting up the 3 in the assist. He don't give 2 rats what's about much on the defensive end, but when it come down to assisting the ball and shooting the 3-pointer, Alvin Gentry is he gets really happy about that sort of stuff.
And the 14 turnovers, man, he's been preaching no turnovers, all that lately, and I think he's real happy to see him finally get that under control.
Well, you see how the team looks, man, when they play under control, using your terminology, man. And let's move to the next matchup, which I wish this one was a game that they played under control. But the Pelicans at home against the OKC Thunder in this matchup. And it wasn't as, I guess I say, it wasn't the type of game that you would have wanted to see the Pelicans play. Now, the Thunder, they're not a pushover team. They're 33-22, 6-16-10 on the road. Pretty good road record for that team. And this team, a lot of people didn't think that they would be a competing team like they are, but this team is holding 33 wins and led by agent Chris Paul and a handful of other people. But in this matchup, the Pelicans shot really well from the field. They shot almost 49% from the field on 42 of 86 shooting. The problem is OKC was 50% from the field the night. And then, of course, downtown,
no defense.
13 of 27 3-pointers from the Thunder for 48%. Then the Pelicans were 20 of 27. And then if you look at the free throws, DC, the free throws, 82% from the Thunder, 74%, which is right around their season average from the Pelicans. That hunted them. Now, they did have the rebound advantage, 52-49. In the matchup, 38-35 Pell advantage over them on the defensive rebound. Even had more offensive rebounds, 8-5. The assist ratio, the Pelicans had the assist 31-28 in the matchup, but steals, man, and the turnovers continue to hurt the Pelicans. They had 17 turnovers in the matchup for 24 points versus the OKC Thunder, who were pretty disciplined, only turning the ball over in single digits. That's 9 to be precise. Then, of course, the Thunder beat them on the fast break point, 19-10. And then, of course, points in the paint. So they beat them running their game 19-10 and then beat them in the paint 54-42 in the matchup. And it was just one of those matchups. Zion Williamson put up 32 points in this game as well, DC. And the Pelicans, man, they were fighting, you see it, and of course the referees really didn't help us in this matchup. Zion Williamson, he was pissed off, you could tell, and they were kind of laying into him, and Gentry was excited about, he wasn't excited, but he was really agitated about the fact that Zion wasn't getting those calls. But 32 points from him, 24 from Reddit off the bench, 16 from Zobal, 14 from Holiday. Josh Hart struggled with just 7, 8 from Favors. What's your thought on this game before we move to Gentry?
A very, very disappointing game because they played a very good Thunder team, and they had enough momentum at times in this game to take it over and win it. They just couldn't pull forward, man. Drew Holiday, to me, was very disappointing. Mm-hmm. With Brandon Ingram missing, and for him to not step up, man, I was like, Lonzo Ball, I believe this game was stepping up more than Drew Holiday. And it's just very perplexing. And you talked about that field goal percentage. He was the guy that missed the most, free throws. He was the guy that missed the most free throws. And any game where Lonzo Ball has to outscore Drew, something's going on. So he tried to beat Lonzo Ball. Looked like he had 11 assists, but, only 14 points. We can't have 14 points from Drew Holiday on a game when Brandon Ingram not playing. If Ingram is playing and, it's an off day or whatever, you think, okay, yeah, that's cool. But Ingram not playing? Come on, man. You got to show up. And only hit one of your free throws out of 4. I think he have a 3-point play?
Yeah.
And he missed 2 of the free throws?
Yeah, he was.
I was like, man, what the hell is going on with Drew Holiday?
Yep. Yeah, and that's the thing that's frustrating about Drew Holiday, not to cut you off, DC, is the fact that as good as a two-way player is, he just disgusts me with his free throw shooting, man. He really disgusts me with his free throw shooting.
His shot sometimes can just that whole thing can just be inconsistent sometimes. And in his defense, thinking about it now, Drew Holiday plays a lot of minutes. So he probably plays the most minutes on the team. So I think a lot of times his legs are probably just, not under him, and he may be a little fatigued, even though he's able to push through. It kind of shows up in his shot. But he's not the reason we lost this game.
No, he's not.
To get back to it, it's really on defense. You saw it. Defense and turnovers, man.
Right.
We gave up 19 fast break points. We're supposed to be the running team. We only got 10 fast break points. We couldn't really get them to turn the ball over to save our lives. They only had 9 turnovers, and they outscored us in the paint. We were running a layup drill for them. And then we did all of that, and then we let them shoot damn near 50% from three-point line. So, you can't do all of these things, and they're not going to beat themselves. They hit their free throws, or at least hit more than us. And it's just a team I saw that just refuses to beat themselves.
Yeah,
we didn't put enough pressure on them to force them into costly mistakes.
No, and that's absolutely right. And it's just really frustrating to see the diverse way the Pelicans play, from one game domination of the Trailblazers to a lopsided error-filled game.
Played a more disciplined team.
That's the frustrating. But anyway, we're about to hit the break, DC. Hold that thought. We'll come back. We'll have interviews from Alvin Gentry after the game and Zion Williamson. And then we'll preview the upcoming matchup against Portland. Then we'll get into the state of the Pels at the All-Star break. Stay with us.
Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needs it the most. With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top rated and review coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top rated and review coverage for your pet today. Go to embracepetinsurance.com. That's embracepetinsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans GEAUX, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans. Attention, everyone. Get breakdown on games, free agent signings and potential moves, unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from GEAUX. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registers and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
There's a lot of reasons to be a fan, but only NBAStore.com has all the gear.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're tuned in to the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. And of course, we're covering the last week of Pelican action against the Trail Blazers. We covered that one right now. We're working on OKC Thunder game. We did the breakdown. We got Alvin Gentry and Zion Williamson's post-game reactions coming up. Big ups to Kevin and DJ in the chat. Big ups to the family members. As a key contributor, DC is in the building. And it's the great thing about it on this side of the break. We'll get into the preview of the Portland game, but also give our takes on the state of the Pelicans at the break, what the team is looking like. And, of course, 27 games left in the regular season. The Pelicans have very slim room for error here. Although I remember we were talking in the pre-production meeting between me and DC, and he was saying how he believes that the team can make it at a 41-41 record, but I really don't want to push it like that. But we'll get into that. We'll talk about that when the time do. But let's get through the post-game interviews. Here is Alvin Gentry's thoughts after the win, the loss, actually the humiliating loss. Not humiliating, but they should have won this goddamn game against the Thunder. You know, this is what we need to do. We need to prove that we can beat the good teams. Here's Alvin Gentry's reaction.
This team does not beat themselves if you commit turnovers and minus 15 and the points off turnovers, and that's a tough stat.
It is a tough stat, and that's what they've done all year. That's why, they're probably, other than Memphis, they've probably been the most surprised team in the league. They've just done a good job of hanging in games, and they have a way of closing them. They got guys, Gallinari and Chris Paul and Schroeder, and all of those guys have been in positions where they've closed games, and that's exactly what they did. They made plays down the stretch, and we just didn't make the plays down the stretch.
Yeah, you kept coming at them, though. Kept fighting, kept building, but J.J. Redick really gave you a spark in the third quarter, really got you back into the ballgame.
Yeah, he did a great job of making shots, making tough shots, really, and we were right there. But I didn't think we did a very good job of containing the ball all night. They were in the paint a ton, and Schroeder came into the game, and I thought he did a great job of just catching and going, and we just never really contained the ball or did anything, to change the pace of the game. I thought we did a good job on Chris Paul from the standpoint of not letting him in the paint, but I thought Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Schroeder did a great job of just catching and going. So that hurt us also. And then I didn't think we had enough ball movement, and I didn't think the pace of the game was where we needed it to be. They want to play at a real slow pace. We had to try to pick the pace up, and I thought they did a good job in not letting us do that.
Ball, turnovers, missed easy shots. Just what happened in that third quarter?
When OKC went on their run, I mean, you just said it yourself, like self-inflicted turnovers. They were hitting shots, the leader like Chris Paul, he's facilitating their offense, and they were hitting shots, and we just had self-inflicted turnovers. Not much to it.
Your second straight game with 30 points. What have you really been able to find on the offensive end that you've been able to do consistently to find some effectiveness on that end?
My ability to get to the free throw line. I'm just gonna keep going in there and just try to draw as much attention as I can, and when I do, I'll have open kickouts. But for me, it's just trying to make the right play on the offensive end.
How satisfying for you is it to see the free throw numbers go up, the percentage go up after the first couple of games?
I mean, at the moment, it's not so satisfying because, if I would have made every free throw, the game possibly would have had a different feel to it towards the end. But there has been improvement in it.
When you look at on the defensive end, it seemed like there were just times tonight there the communication wasn't there. Guys were caught out of position. Is it still a feeling out process for you and for the rest of your teammates at times in getting the right rotations and understanding matchups?
I think we're still feeling each other out. Just kind of me knowing when to get back to my man versus staying there and try to corral the ball handler. Just gotta have more trust within each other. I think we do have trust. We just don't want to make the mistake, and we usually make the mistake.
Zion Williamson, and also prior to that, there was Alvin Gentry's thoughts on the matchup, post-game thoughts on the matchup against the Thunder. And, of course, Dennis Schroeder, man, he continues to just kill the Pelicans every time they meet the Thunder. Every time he meets the Pelicans, it just 22 points in this matchup, 29 minutes, 7 of 16 from the field, 7 of 7 from the free throw line in the matchup. He was the second top scorer. Gallinari, injury-plagued Gallinari, he led the effort in this one. He was 12 of 18 from the field, 3 of 5 from downtown. Almost felt like that dude couldn't miss. 29 points in the matchup in 33 minutes. He played really well. Of course, Chris Paul filled in with his double-double, 14 points, 12 assists in the matchup. But the Pelicans, man, wow, they just couldn't get enough, man. Just couldn't do enough. As far as the turnovers, man, and then you look at the free throws, the fundamental stuff is what is killing the Pelicans, especially when they get close to these close games. It's just puzzling. It's puzzling. The guys, Derek Favors, Drew Holiday, of course they were without Ingram in this matchup, and of course I think probably if they had Ingram, they probably would have won this. They definitely would have won this game, in my opinion. But you don't help yourself there, DC. When you don't help yourself when you miss free throws. It was 20 of 27 from the free throw line. Now, and then you lose as close as you are. You got to hit the free throws, and you cannot turn the ball over the way they do. Now, they had 17 turnovers, but they turned those 17 turnovers into 24 points, and then the domination in the paint. 54-42 in the paint and 19-10 in the free throw line does not help them. And as they kept having to get closer and closer, of course, the largest lead they had, OKC, was 13 in this matchup. But 17-9 on the turnover, they were just disciplined, and they were OKC, and they were able to get this close one, man. So important shots on this game before we move to the preview of the Trailblazers.
But I couldn't hear you, Big Q. What was that?
Important shots. What you think about this? We're about to move on from this OKC game. Important shots quickly as we move on from the this real close loss to the Thunder.
This game could have been won different decisions by Alvin Gentry. I seen him. I absolutely hate the 4-guard rotation.
Yeah, that
when Nico Millie is playing how he's playing, and Jackson Hayes was playing at a very high level in the point in the season, but now he's not because Alvin Gentry wants to run 4 guards. So he only plays the guy 5 minutes or so. He's an energy player. You got to give him a little more time than that to make an impact. And he's not out there to pick up just fouls, in my opinion. And I think something as simple as that could have maybe changed the outcome of the game because they'd have had to play a little bit more fundamental when those guys are in the game instead of everybody just, let me see if I get my shot, pass. I like the fact that we pass a lot, but sometimes we overpass, and I see that happening a lot in that 4-guard rotation, and I absolutely hate it. So Zion, if what he's doing is a sign of things to come, I think we'll be all right. But if Alvin Gentry can clean that up, man, I think we'll be on our way. But we both know that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, he and oftentimes, man, Alvin Gentry, man, and it's still a fire Alvin Gentry movement, despite the fact the Pelicans are looking a little bit, they're more exciting with Zion Williamson starting to round himself into regular season shape. And then, of course, we did have a nice stretch where we've seen both Zion Williamson and Ingram, the current All-Star, playing really well together. And, of course, he'll be back, for the Portland Trailblazers matchup that'll happen on the 21st. So they do have some time to kind of relax and kind of breathe down and to prepare themselves for the last 27 games of the season. They're going to travel up to the Motor Center and be able to take on a very upset and angry Portland team, which the Pelicans have dominated this season. I mean, they beat them 115-104 in game 1, and then 102-94 in game 2, and then they beat them earlier this week 138-117 in basically blowout fashion. And then, of course, to finish off the season against the Trailblazers, they're going to have to shut them off. And this is one of the things the Pelicans need. They need to string together wins with the last 27 games to kind of get close. We definitely need a winning streak of some sort to occur right here, and they can kick it off. Of course, Portland's going to fight hard to not be swept in this matchup, but we should have a full slate of guys coming back. A Turner Ingram, he should be back. And, of course, I will have the full team focused and ready for the 27 game, we hope. What's your perception on who wins this game quickly on the 21st as the Pelicans return off the All-Star break?
Of course, I see the Pelicans winning this game. We've absolutely owned Portland, and since we've beat them, seems like in that playoff series, they never really got back right from that. And I don't think Dame Lillard will be playing, so it'll take a catastrophic failure from us to lose this game. I do expect it to be more competitive than the last game, though. I don't think they're going to come in there and just roll over. I mean, they are in contention for fighting for that playoff spot. Memphis only has about 26 wins or so. They got 23. I believe we have 22. No, they have 25.
25
and we got 23. Yeah, so I still think they got a lot to fight for, and they're a prideful team. They'll make it more competitive than the last game, but I see the Pelicans taking this one. As long as Ingram and Zion can find a newfound chemistry to coexist, because in the future, this looks like it's going to shift to Zion's team. Ingram, to me, is more like a 1B, like a 1A, 1B. They're both alphas to me. and I think they can coexist. But Zion controls everything in the paint, and Ingram will have to learn how to control everything on the perimeter. They can do that. We'll pretty much become unstoppable. So I'm looking forward to see how Zion and Ingram mesh after the newfound success that Zion's had. And he's very unselfish, so he ain't going to get the big head. But I don't want to see him deferring too much to him.
Sooner or later, that Zion Williamson, like you said, they have two really astounding and very just excellent players. Ingram's playing the best ball of his young career. Zion Williamson is just doing some out-of-worldly stuff. But let's span ahead now. We're going to look at the state of the Pelicans at the break. 27 games remaining. They'll get some time off, to kind of reflect behind and then to come ahead to kind of make whatever adjustments they need. Currently, the Pelicans sit 3 games out of the 8th and final position in the race that's being held in the Western Conference playoff race that's being held by the Memphis Grizzlies, who are 28 and 26 behind Ja Morant, who's playing really well. The Grizzlies did make a trade as well to kind of help their team. And you just got to give big credit to Memphis, how they've been playing. I did not think Memphis would be even much considered in the playoff race, but they're playing really well. Portland, San Antonio, then the Pelicans that's how it runs underneath the 8th seed. The Pelicans are 6-4 in the last 10 contests. So a lot could be said of that. The team ahead of them, Spurs, are not playing that well, even though they won the last matchup. They're 3-7. Trailblazers are 6-4 as well. And the Pelicans need to keep beating the Spurs the Trailblazers, because as they knock the Trailblazers down, they gain a little ground here and hope the Spurs will lose and Memphis can continue to lose, but even though they're on a 2-game winning streak. So it's excellent. The way you look at it, they have to win some serious games. The next 5 contests, the Pelicans meet the Lakers twice. So that out of the two out of the 5 contests will be against the Los Angeles Lakers, who are the top team right now in the Western Conference, playing 41-12. They're 7-3 in the last 10 contests, and they're currently on a 3-game winning streak. The only team hotter than them right now is Utah, who's won 4 in a row. So interesting enough to find out exactly what the Pelicans need to do. Schedule going ahead, DC, is pretty difficult. We were looking over some, but a lot of gimme games in those matchups as well going ahead. What is your perception spanning ahead from the state of the Pelicans from a coaching player standpoint, as well as moving forward into the rest of the season with these games? What, in your opinion, that the team needs to do?
Well, first off, I'll state how I feel about the upcoming games, and I think they have a real good shot heading forward. We can lose about 7 games. So we play the Lakers twice, so we definitely got to beat them at least once. We play the Mavericks, and I'm only naming out the tough teams. We play the Clippers. We play Dallas. Another team I'm missing one. The Spurs. We play them maybe 3 times or so. So we're going to have to figure out how to get over that home. That's real huge. We got to figure out a way to beat San Antonio. And then if anybody has been a Pelicans fan who listens to the show prior to the Zion era, it's been very hard for Alvin Gentry to beat the Spurs, regardless of who we had. So we got to figure out a way to get past them and their fundamental style. And after that, we play a lot of teams. Atlanta is another team that may be getting good when we play them on the 31st in March. But the first one, I think we easily get. I mean, we got teams on our schedule that are very beatable. We have the first easiest schedule the rest of the way. The last 12 games of the season is all sub-500 teams. So the Pelicans got it all lining up for them to be able to take this thing. The Spurs are in the way, and of course they have to figure out a way to beat that juggernaut called the Lakers at least one game, because we played them twice. We know they're going to have their stumbles, but as long as they can win 20 games out of the next 27, which it sounds harder than it really is when you break it into, I guess, 5-game increments. Or let's say 7-game increments, then it's really not that difficult. I mean, 6-1, 6-1, 5-2 here, 4-3. They can pull it off. They can pull it off. So for them to be able to do it, they have to all continue that energy that they've been having. I like the chemistry that this team has. They genuinely seem to like each other. Doesn't seem forced or fake. Alvin Gentry has to clean up his rotations, as we've been kept saying all year. I got to give him some credit. He's gotten better. I remember we got on him about not playing Millie, and voila, we see Millie getting a rotation, and what happens, y'all? Millie looks amazing. What if he'd have been doing this all season from the first day? Frank Jackson has to get minutes. I don't know who he's going to take him from. Maybe E'Twaun Moore. He's up and down. I think when he's on. Give him some minutes. When he's not, he's going to have to work in Frank Jackson and maybe take a look at Alexander Walker sometimes, because he can play possibly 3 positions at the point guard, shooting guard, small forward. So if he does run this crazy 4-guard set, I do not want to see E'Twaun Moore and J.J. Redick. I understand why he does that, because E'Twaun Moore is a better defender for a shell guy, but, I mean, you need to pick one, man. You can't have 2 6'3" guys out there. You're trying to run a 6-guard rotation, and we got a 6'6" and a 6'4", 6'5" guy, and either Drew Holiday or Frank Jackson. Why is Alexander Walker not out there? He damn near 6'7", if he going to do that. But I think we need to see Jahlil Okafor get some more time, Jackson Hayes get some more time. We need to get bigger instead of trying to get smaller, going down the stretch playing some of these teams, and I think that will unlock the key to us being a more successful team, as well as cut down on the turnovers, because we won't have as many guards on the floor at the same time. And, guards are a little facilitator mindset. When you got big guys, that's not really the intention. So, or, big guy that ain't like a small forward. So I think that would help with some of the turnovers and maybe force them to play a little more traditional, like I said earlier. And that's what I'll be looking forward to seeing. And I hope Alvin Gentry can figure out how to script and call some more goddamn plays. Like, I like our freelancing style, but crucial points in the game, I really wish we would draw up better stuff and call specific plays, especially to get in the post and get necessary baskets. We do things like that, man. We're on our way to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, and Gentry's a major part of it, because the excuse now cannot be the fact that the Pelicans don't have enough talent. Zion Williamson in itself is doing stuff that, not too many, he's in rarefied era, the type of stuff that he's doing. And they can't say that now the injuries have cleared away. Zion is here. Ingram will be back, and he'll have a full staff, except for Kendrick Williams might not be there, what have you, but whatever. We still like what they have, and they have enough to be able to reel off wins, to be able to at least steal that 8 seed. I mean, this at least. Now, of course, this is the thing. And we talked about how many losses that we think Alvin Gentry contributed to the Pelicans with messed up lineups and these stupid 4-guard rotations, which he severely hampers the team, and have these major size advantages so you can have these shooters on the floor. It's just absolutely insane when you have the stretch forward of Nico Melli out there who could knock down the shot, and he hustles. And, of course, speaking of which, in the Rising Stars matchup, Nickeil Alexander-Walker attended, as well as Nico Melli. They were there. Zion Williamson was there as well, and Ingram actually played in the All-Star game. Just to give some information about Ingram, he finished the game and of course we know Team LeBron won the All-Star game tonight, 157-155 over Team Giannis. In the matchup, our guy Ingram finished. Now he played less minutes than any other person there. 9 minutes, 1 of 4 shooting from the field, 0 for 3 from downtown, and he finished with just 2 points on the game. 2 points, 1 steal, and 1 rebound for Ingram, but still in all, he was there. So, I mean, that's a little of the All-Star information in the break. But, just kind of span back and look at the state of the Pelicans. The Pelicans have a lot hit into the rest of these games that we have to watch out for. I got the schedule in front of me. I'm looking at the matchups against Portland, the 3 West Coast games against Portland, Golden State, then the Lakers. Then they come home February the 28th against the Cleveland Club, who we could tend to overlook. But remember, they just picked up Andre Drummond. They got Kevin Love there. We're going to see how that plays. But also then we have a matchup against the Lakers, then Minnesota, the 3-game stand. very tough teams. Dallas is fighting. Miami is always a difficult team. Minnesota, they have some pieces that they had with D'Angelo Russell, with Big Cat. We'll see how they go. Sacramento struggling. We'll go there. We'll have a 4-game stand against a 4-game road swing against Minnesota, Sacramento, a tough Utah club who we just really developing a really tough hate for. And then, of course, a really tough Clipper club that we match up in the middle of March. Then we come home for 2 games against Atlanta, who picked up Clint Capella, and they're interesting, but we should be able to deal with them. And then, like DC said, we have 3 matchups against the Spurs. We have to take care of business against the Spurs. You need to dominate either 2 of the 3 matchups, if possibly all of them. But we'll see how that works, being that you're right. Gentry does seem to struggle against those fundamental styles because he himself is not very fundamental. Then, of course, after that matchup, they go on the road against Memphis. Then they come home for 3 games against Sacramento, Memphis again, and then a struggling Knick club on the March the 27th. Then they're on the road for 4 games starting March the 29th at Orlando, at Atlanta, at Washington, at San Antonio. They come home for 4 games starting. Let's see, what is this? When is this starting? On April the 7th against Charlotte. They have a home game against Phoenix. Philadelphia's in that mixture. Washington, and then finally close out against the Spurs. Several seasons they've been closing out against the Spurs. But anyway, that'll do it for the Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network. I'd like to thank all parties involved for being here and enjoy the Pelican Postgame Report. State of the Pels at the break, man. State of the Pels at the break. 27 games remaining. Our Pelicans must and will take care of business. And let's get to the playoffs, man. Let's do this big. I'm looking forward to the matchup against the Lakers. Zion against AD. I'm looking at that. That's TV. That's pay-per-view TV. But thank y'all for joining us. I'm DC. I'm Big Q, and DC is here as well. Thank y'all. Peace.
Are you a Pelicans fan? Check out the Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network.
The Kleins family has been getting people to go nuts for old nuts since 1995. As legends have it, a number of the Kleins friends who heard the idea said you can go nuts trying to name a store like that. In the excitement, the Kleins thought their friends said old nuts instead of go nuts and proceeded to throw caution to the wind. Old Nuts has over 2,000 items, bulk and wholesale prices of a whole lot of your favorite fruits, nuts, and confections, a selection of gift baskets for any budget, any occasion, and provides one of the best and impressively rated shopping experiences on the web. Fact is, between their selection, service, speed, or their online presence in a virtual mirror retail experience, they have developed an enviable client base that's comprised of personal and professional customers who count on their remarkable range of gift baskets. Think of gift basket, think about Old Nuts. Check them out, oldnuts.com. Check the link in the description section below. Tea is your escape. It's your opportunity to create a moment for stillness, for reflection, for yourself. It's your connection to a world of senses, flavors both exotic and familiar, energizing and relaxing. It's your retreat from an increasingly turbulent world. It's the perfect paradox of simplicity and complexity. Teabox.com connects tea to people, uniting the richest flavors of the finest teas with the curious, the cultivated, and the adventurous all over the world. The freshest tea you've ever tasted, from crop to cup. There's simply no simpler way to experience the wonderful complexity of tea. Teabox, packing up the freshness. Tea thrives on freshness, and so do they. Teabox temperature and humidity control facility ensure that tea is maintained. The teas themselves go into oblique bags with aluminum layers that protect them from excess moisture and light. With Teabox, shopping for fresh, loose leaf tea is easy because you make an informed purchase. You know exactly where your tea is coming from. So for the freshest teas in the world, check out Teabox.com. That's right, Teabox.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Go to newfrog.com for all of your electronic gadget needs. Fast becoming #1 online seller of cell phone and accessories, consumer electronics, automobiles and motorcycles, home and garden items, 5D diamond painting crafts, electrical and tool supplies, computer and networking supplies, lights and lighting supplies, sports and travel items, toys and hobby supplies, apparel and accessory, mother and kid items, health and beauty items, and much, much more. Newfrog.com has up to 70% off on some products, and you can check out their weekly promotions for all the best deals. Remember, when thinking online electronics and gadgets, think Newfrog. Newfrog.com. Check the link in the description section below.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
What's up, Sports World? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Postgame Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share. And help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.